Hello and welcome to Fantasy Fight League for UFC 292, Aljamain Sterling versus Sean O'Malley. As always, I am Casey and joined by
Taylor.
Taylor, how are we feeling about this card?
I'm pretty stoked. I don't think the whole card is anything, special, but there's some stuff on it that I'm excited about.
I'd agree. I think right now we're in the post-summer depression after having the two greatest cards ever.
Oh, they were fantastic.
Nothing's going to beat this until we get back to next summer where they do International Fight Week and International Fight Week Part 2 again. So
I don't think anything's going to beat Dricus knocking out Rob Whittaker and then Derek Lewis turning the streak around with a flying knee KO for the rest of my life.
Those were absolutely wild fights. I loved every minute of it. All right, with that said, let's get into it. So, Fantasy Fight League rules. We got $1,000 total. You got to bet at least $100 on each fight. And then highest payout at the end of the night wins. All right, first fight, we got Marlon Chito Vera versus Pedro Munoz. Taylor, what do you think?
All right. Here's the thing. We should be pulling up these fighters' wikis whenever we look at them. Because I'm always looking at the wikis whenever I'm doing this normally. But I can't remember exactly why. But here's the thing. Pedro Munoz. Who's he beaten? Seriously. A washed-up Cody Garbrandt, I think. People think he beat Frankie Edgar, but he was still close enough to go to a decision with like a 40-year-old Frankie Edgar with about 10 extra years of CTE on him. And he kind of just doesn't do that great when the real good guys get out there. And he fought Sean. They both fought Sean O'Malley, also in this card. I'd say Pedro was getting pieced up by Sean O'Malley until he had to find his way out with the eye poke fake. Yeah, he lost to Dominic Cruz, Jose Aldo, Frankie Edgar, Aljamain Sterling. That's fine. But just overall, he's 36. He's pretty much as good as he's going to get. He doesn't look that clean. He's just got a good chin, and he beats his way through lower level competition. And I think that's about all I have to say about that. Meanwhile, Marlon Chito Vera has freaky strikes, beats Dominic Cruz, brutally finishes Frankie Edgar, beats Sean O'Malley. Yes, a fluke, but he still did it with his freaky strikes. Loses to Jose Aldo, but it's been getting a lot better since then. And so, listen, I understand that Pedro Munoz has never been knocked out, but he's also bad. And so I think that at some point, somebody with the power to get it done is going to get it done. And I think that's going to be Marlon Vera this time.
I think Chito could be the guy to get it done, although to be brutally honest with you, this is a bantamweight fight, and I don't particularly pay attention to these guys or this division all that much. But I know both these guys' names. They've been in there with some of the big dogs. And for me personally, I ended up going with Chito for the win for $100, just because I think this would make a super interesting storyline moving forward, especially for the division, considering that Chito is the only person in the UFC that's beaten Sean. So,
yeah, well, there goes to the bets, right? So I have Chito by KO for $100 at plus 450. I understand that Pedro Munoz has never been knocked out, but plus 450, you're telling me that there's, what's that, you're telling me there's less than a 1 in 5 chance that Marlon Vera gets it done and knocks him out? Get out of here. That's free money.
I mean, it's plus 450 for a reason. The guy hasn't been knocked out, so I'm just saying.
I'm going buck wild in this card. I'm having a good time.
Hey, fair enough.
We're making fun bets.
Fair enough. All right, next one. We got Mario Bautista and Damon Blackshear. Is this one of the replacement fights?
Yeah. So Cody Garbrandt was supposed to fight Mario Bautista. I think Mario Bautista, I think he's training. Yeah, he's training at an MMA lab with Sean O'Malley and Tim Welch down there. Damon Blackshear. I want you to. He's out of Jackson Wink over here in beautiful New Mexico. I want you to pull up Damon Blackshear's shirt off for a second here, Casey. I want to point something out to you, and I think that's going to pretty much sum up my entire thing here. Go keep going down to his losses. Keep going down. Go down to his second loss there. What's that say?
Chris. Oh, Chris Moutinho.
Yeah, Damon Blackshear lost to Chris Moutinho. Listen, Chris Moutinho was tough. He's okay, but if Damon Blackshear's losing to Chris Moutinho, he ain't no Mario Bautista. Look at Mario Bautista's list after this too.
That's true.
He's got some decent wins. He's a decent upcomer. He's only 30 years old. I mean, Damon Blackshear's only 29, but he's bad. Yeah, I mean, he's lost to Trevin Jones. That's okay. He beat
Lost to
Cueto
Corey
Canetti.
Sandhagen.
Lost to Corey Sandhagen. Nothing wrong with that. But there's a difference between losing to Corey Sandhagen and losing to Chris Moutinho. That's all I have to say about that. Bautista for the win. I love Tim Welch. I'm betting second, third round, one of those corner times. Tim Welch is going to tell Mario Bautista some crazy tactic. It's going to work out perfectly. Mario Bautista is probably going to put Damon Blackshear out or just piece him up for the rest of the fight.
Fair enough. I mean, Chris Moutinho is most famous for just getting the shit kicked out of him by Sean O'Malley. So, yeah, you got a point there. Again, I'm pretty sure this is actually a fight that was pulled from the early prelims to the main card, just because this has been a bit of a wild week with a lot of fight replacements going on.
You friggin' might have been. I don't know why they would. I mean, maybe unless they wanted to up Mario Bautista by watching him knock out Cody Garbrandt or potentially give Cody Garbrandt a comeback, but
maybe.
In any case, it's a weird card in the main card. It's a weird fight in the main card, I should say.
All right, enough said. On to the next one.
Oh, Ian Gatti.
All right, for the third fight on the card, we got Ian Gary versus Neil Magny. This is one of the fights that I'm personally most excited about, other than the next two fights because they're the champion fights. But Ian Gary is, I mean, a lot of people are trying to call him the next Conor McGregor. And in our strange timeline now, there was a great meme posted where it was like, what is going on? We have nice Conor McGregor, and they post this guy, and we also have evil Khabib, and they post a picture of Makhachev screaming into the mic, and I'm like, yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah, we've seen plenty of those. Listen, I like Ian Gary's style. However much of a cuck he is, Ian Machado Gary, sure dog doesn't have his name updated. He might be a cuck. He might have married a 40-year-old. As a successful up-and-coming 25-year-old MMA fighter, which is stupid.
Wait, what? He married a 40-year-old?
Yeah, and then he took her surname. Anyway, I do think that he's very good. If I had to pick, no money on it, I would put Ian Gary as the winner. He's getting better every time we see him out there. He's pretty slick. You listen to him talk when he trains, and he's pretty good. He thinks about it. He's pretty smart, and I appreciate that. However, Neil Magny's okay. He's a veteran. You know, yeah, he's a gatekeeper, but he keeps that gate pretty good. And he just got a lot of volume, and I can just see a situation where Ian Gary thinks he's gonna pull counter on off a strike of Neil Magny, and then Neil Magny files the follow up, and then he throws the 4-piece combo, and Ian Gary's like, uh-oh, and he's just not ready for it. And then he gets him into a clinch, and he makes it dirty, and he just old man strengths him around the cage. And listen, I don't think that's the most likely outcome, but at plus 380, I'll take it. We're making big bets this card.
That's fair. The odds makers have this as a very polarizing fight. I think Ian Gary has got a huge swing of momentum behind him, and honestly, his rise, I'm kind of comparing it to Sean O'Malley, where it's just like he is that guy right now, and no one's bested him yet. This could be the guy to do it, but personally, I don't see it happening. So I put $200 on Machado at minus 315.
I don't think he ain't no Sean O'Malley, but maybe he'll Dricus Duplessis it and just chat his way all the way to the top.
I hope. I can hope. All right, that brings us to the co-main event of the evening. We got Weili Zhang versus Amanda Lemos. Taylor, talk to me.
All right, we got here Amandina, the punches like a man, versus Weili, best girl, second best waifu in the UFC, Zhang over here. And I'm riding for my girl Weili Zhang. Here's the thing with this one. Weili Zhang is good at MMA. Right?
Okay. So conversely,
Amanda Lemos, everyone's talking about how she punches hard. She's got great physicality. She might be able to meet Weili Zhang in physicality. That might be true. She might be about as physical as Weili Zhang. Once again, Weili Zhang is good. Amanda Lemos got stopped by Jessica Andrade in round 1. Weili Zhang stomped Jessica Andrade in like 42 seconds or something. She's good, and she's strong, and she's going to destroy stupid Amanda Lemos, who hasn't beat anyone, and I don't even know how she's getting this title shot, other than they just don't want to have another Rose title shot ever again. Oh, yeah, sorry. We're looking at everything right here. Marina Rodriguez, okay, but Michelle Waterson-Gomez, Angela Hill, like, these are her last 3 wins? Like, come on.
I hear you. At the same time, though, here's how I break down this fight. All of the best female fights I have ever watched in the UFC have all had Weili Zhang in them. Yes, that did include the one where she got head kick knocked out, but at the same time, she's a hell of a fighter. Both of the Young Jacek fights were phenomenal, and I just think she's on a tear, and I don't see Amanda Lemos stopping her, because like you said, I think she's just too good at MMA compared to the rest of the division, which again kind of explains how we have this fight, which is that we need Weili to stay active, and this is, I guess, the best we got right now.
And both of us feel pretty confident that it looks like. You put your money in your mouth, you got 400 of your dollars. That's almost as much as you could possibly put on this one fight. And Weili Zhang at minus 310. I mean, that's... You got to be confident.
It's bad odds for trying to make money off of it, but at the same time, a lot of the undercard fights I didn't really know a ton about. Ian Gary's the next best one I feel about. And then other than that, it's like, I know it's Weili Zhang. So like, yeah, my earnings potential here is very capped, but at the same time, like, this feels like a pretty sure bet. And then also your bets there is pretty interesting with the minus 150. What you got?
I got Weili Zhang by finish. I think she's going to finish her in the first or second, and then I'm going to finish in the third, if you know what I mean. And, I mean, she's got 5 rounds to finish Amanda Lemos. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. I think it's going to be easy night for Weili Zhang.
Nope, should be an easy night. And even if she doesn't get out of there in the first few rounds, Weili Zhang has just got that gas tank for days, too. So she's not going anywhere. All right, that brings us to the main event of the evening. We got Suga Sean O'Malley versus the Funkmaster Aljamain Sterling. This is the big one on the card. I think we've been waiting for this one for a while. And I think one of the big stories around this one is that Sean used to be the unranked champion, and then got ranked in the low teens, and then fought Petr Yan, won the split decision, ranked number 2, and now he's fighting for the title. Pretty quick rise there.
Yeah, I think people say like, oh, who's he beaten? And the Petr Yan fight was close. You could see it going either way, but even if you think Petr Yan won, you could see it going either way. Petr Yan, despite his recent loss streak, is a championship caliber fighter.
Oh, absolutely.
You have to say that. Sean beat, I think, Holly and Paiva to take the 15 spot. He fought Pedro Munoz. I think maybe Pedro was maybe number 7 or 6 at the time. Quite frankly, pieced him up, was having no issues. Pedro Munoz claimed an iron poke. What are you going to do? Felt Petr Yan basically blow for blow. I'd say it was pretty even. I thought Sean O'Malley won barely. If you thought Petr Yan won, that's fine. Sean O'Malley did cheat a lot. But here's the thing on this one. In the UFC, cheating is good because you win because of cheating, and they never punish you. So think about that before you make your picks. So the one thing they have been saying in the build of this fight is Sean O'Malley said it himself, and I think Aljamain pretty much agrees. Sean O'Malley said, either I've got to knock him out, or if he gets a hold of me, it's probably over.
I mean, yeah, I don't want to call that the super obvious line for this fight, but that's really what it's coming down to. For this fight, I ended up just putting $200 on O'Malley to win at plus 210. Similar to the whole Ian Gary story, I just think it's his time. I think he's just got the momentum. I think this is his moment. And I know it's super easy to hate on Aljo. I understand he's good, but at the same time, like, Sean's also very good.
Sean is very good. And if you listen to the guy talk and you watch the guy train, and especially if you listen to Tim Welch, his coach, I love Tim Welch way more than I love Sean.
Sean's about it.
Yeah, Sean is about it. He's all in. He takes himself very seriously, takes his training very seriously, takes his fights very seriously, and he's smart. He's got a great camp and a great coach. It does feel like it's his time. It feels like he's going to go out there and get this done. You know, manifesting. John Jones talks all about it, and it works for him. So I feel that O'Malley is going to go out there and get the KO. And on top of that, I don't see any way that he wins without the KO, because I don't see him being able to go to a decision with Aljamain Sterling. I think Aljamain Sterling ends up taking him down. He has to hurt him in order to keep him off of him. And if he hurts him, I think he's going to finish him. I don't think he's going to go for the sub. Meanwhile, on paper, my brain tells me Aljamain Sterling smokes this one. Aljamain Sterling, despite his many fluke wins, is a good fighter. He's huge for the division. He's jacked. He's very capable. And if he can get Sean O'Malley down, I can absolutely see him TKOing him in the ground or getting the submission without too much effort. I mean, Sean O'Malley, I believe he's really worked in his grappling a lot. He's got good jiu-jitsu, but Aljamain Sterling is the best at grappling. So I think that's one of the two ways it goes. That's why I hedged my bet with that 200 on Sterling at the plus 110.
I hear you. I mean, I know Sean's 4 inches taller than him, but even just comparing the physiques of the fighters, like Aljo actually like has some good pecs on him, and he's got good muscle definition. Like, I know Sean has got that big reach advantage, but at the same time, Aljo is a little bit just like that meatball fighter, just that guy that's just. I mean, that's the grappler build for you, though.
Aljo walks around, from my understanding, a little bit above 170.
170?
Aljo's walking around my weight. I'm around 175, 176 right now, except Aljo's way more cut than I am.
I can't imagine going from 170 down to 135. Even doing like the crazy fighter cut where you're cutting all the water weight and making it by like a half pound. That's still that's so much.
He's huge.
I mean, and also, if you're a fighter that's cutting down to smaller weights, just as like a percentage size, that's more of a percentage of your body weight that you're trying to get rid of.
Yeah, and that's why, I mean, like I said, even though everything feels like this is Sean O'Malley's time, I've been following the guy ever since he made his comeback to the UFC after that 2-year layoff. I've been rooting for him. I like him, even though he's a cuck, and that's not his kid. But my brain says Aljamain Sterling, and so I just had to hedge the bet on this one. But you'll see that if there's money to be made in this fight for me, it is on the Sean O'Malley KO. So that's what I'm betting on. But I did want to hedge it because you never know.
Sean O'Malley KO, $200 at 330. That's like what, like $860 payout.
Yep, and then I lose the 200 on my Sterling hedge, but that still puts me at like 600 something. So that's like a 460 plus on this.
That's pretty killer. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at the totals. I ended up at 1,684, and Taylor coming in with 2,535.
So we've been doing a lot of these where it's like I've been being like, oh, I feel a little conservative, and then I come out at like 21, 2,200, and then whatever. So I'm just like, screw it. I'm going big on this one. I'm making big bets, and I'm making big wins.
That's totally fair. I obviously, the reason that I'm rather low on this one is simply because I have $400 on Wang Zhe Li at minus 310, and that just absolutely kills my earnings potential. Other than that, the only reason I'm still around 1,600 there is because I do have a good bit of money on some underdogs like Sean. So
yeah, but that Whaley money is, you've already made it basically.
I mean, yeah. I mean, although people say the same thing about when Amanda Nunes lost. I think one of my favorite things about that UFC event was they did the wrap-up show at the end of the pay-per-view, and I think Joe Rogan got fed the stat by somebody that they bet like 310 grand on Amanda Nunes, and then he's just like, "Well, I understand it was minus 1,000, but still."
Well, they probably made a lot of money on Amanda Nunes on all her previous fights, though, except for that Juliana Pena one.
Yep, that's true.
Is that the one we're talking about? Yeah, that's the one we're talking about.
Yeah, that's the one. All right, let's wrap it all together. What do you think at the end of this? What fight are you looking most forward to?
Oh, Sean O'Malley versus Aljamain Sterling. How can you not?
Yeah, that's the one that I want to see. I think that's going to be the real test for Sean. Obviously, Peter Yan was a test in and of itself, but I think this one is for all the money. So if there's a time to shine, it's now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just even if you hate both those guys, and a lot of people do, you gotta love the fight. And how about this poster for it too? How good is that? You think they did an AI paint job on it, or you think this was painted from scratch?
I could see going either way. Although it's UFC, so they got UFC money to spend, so I could see them.
I love it. I think it looks great. I'm really impressed by it. I really like this one.
Fantastic. All right, last thoughts before we get out of here.
Zhang Weili, I know you have a bad picture on Sherdog, but you're still my second best waifu. In fact, now that Valentina Shevchenko is no longer champion, maybe you've got the chance to move to number one if you smoke Lemos in the first round.
Fair enough. All right, you got it there, folks. We will catch you after UFC 292 to talk about all our predictions and how much money or fake money we lost. So until then, I will see you. I am Casey. And
I'm Taylor.
there you go. All right, we'll catch you next time.